Hey everybody, Will Davis with the Monroe County Reporter. Here are some of the top stories you'll find in this week's newspaper. Well, the FORSYTH Starbucks, long awaited, has finally opened its doors, and immediately the popular coffee restaurant was welcomed to Monroe County by nothing else. What better than a tractor 1966 Ford of a local farmer who talked to the reporter exclusively and said that actually it was not as expensive as he feared, only $2.60 for the black coffee he ordered. Asked how it tastes. He said it tastes like coffee. So there you have it. Breaking news in this week's Reporter. A little culture clash as FORSYTH welcomes a Starbucks. Well, a Monroe County man faces criminal charges after he was found naked in his neighbor's house, having broken the door glass last week. His name is Frank James, 78 years old, in one of Monroe County's nicest neighborhoods, Kentucky Downs. The neighbor told Monroe County deputies he had been harassing him for a long time. Sheriff Brad Freeman said he thinks Mr. James has a drug issue. He is now facing disorderly conduct and trespassing and other criminal charges. Find out more details in this week's Reporter.
In October of 1971, a military transport en route to Fort Benning collides midair with a local crop duster. A recovery team is deployed to the crash site. What they discover is terrifying.
Hi, I'm Donna Wilson with this week's Monroe County Reporter Incident of the Week. A barber was slapped by a man unhappy with his haircut on October 15th around 4:55 p.m. at Connett Park. The barber told Officer Jeremy Malone that the man had complained in the past about his haircuts, and he said he did not want any more problems, but decided to cut his hair anyway. He said that when he finished the haircut, the man immediately got upset and slapped him on the left side of the face with his right hand. A witness who saw the incident confirmed what the barber said. The barber told Malone he wanted to press charges, but Malone decided to wait until the other man's side of the story was told before issuing a warrant.
Hey everybody, you know the readers of the Reporter know we love our freedom, and the biggest way we celebrate those freedoms is from our Constitution, the First Amendment. Every week we have free expression in the Reporter. We exercise our First Amendment rights, but there's also the Second Amendment rights, the right to bear arms, that is the one that ensures our First Amendment rights. And the Reporter this season is celebrating the Second Amendment by giving away one of these. Everybody that renews or subscribes to the Reporter from now until Thanksgiving will be eligible for this beautiful AR-15. Just either renew your subscription for $50 or buy a new one. Sign up a friend or family member for the Reporter and you will be entered into the contest. We're also giving away a whole box of Winchester ammunition, even maybe more valuable than the gun the way the ammunition shortages have been. So sign up now, get the Reporter, celebrate the First Amendment and the Second Amendment with your favorite local newspaper.
Whenever I go camping at High Falls State Park, I always make sure to bring the Reporter so I don't miss anything. You should too. Subscribe to the Reporter today.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy Rafferzeter with this week's Business Spotlight. Business has been so good at the Big Peach Car Wash that owner Wes Cohn decided to give a little back to the community. He told the Reporter that there wasn't much to do in FORSYTH on the weekends, so he and his team decided to turn the car wash into a torture tunnel haunted car wash for the Halloween season, in which costumed actors scare the bejesus out of visitors who are not only terrorized, but they also get a wash and wax in the deal. 20 actors, mostly students from Mary Persons, are employed to dress as clowns and other frightening characters to go from car to car performing grisly antics that especially scare the kids. Cohn said if your car is unlocked and your windows are down, they're coming in. He said the only issues they've had are when people wet themselves. The Big Peach is donating all proceeds from concessions to local organizations. Students from the Future Business Leaders of America at Mary Persons ran the concession on the first weekend, and on last Saturday night, the MP Future Farmers of America did the same and received $1,200. The students are also receiving valuable retail selling experience. If you'd like to check out the Torture Tunnel Haunted Car Wash, drive home afterwards in a spotless car, your best bet to purchase tickets is to go to their Facebook page. Action will continue every Friday and Saturday night through the rest of October and on Sunday, Halloween night.
Well, if you're like most of Monroe County, you remember the night of November 5th, 2019. That's when a Rockmart man, a convicted felon, was attempted to be pulled over near the rest area on I-75. He fired some shots at Deputy Christian Solly and then went missing. He and the driver were missing in the woods, and there was a night-long search by Monroe County deputies. The driver was found later that night, but the other suspect, the one who fired at the Monroe County deputy, was not found till the next morning when he showed up at the Rumble Road BP. And that's where Clerk Steve Reese met him. And having heard, like the rest of the community, that an armed and dangerous man was prowling the area, Mr. Reese fired a couple of warning shots to ward off Mr. Donnelly, Justin Donnelly of Rockmart.
Did you kind of catch yourself off guard? Like, what do I do?
No, I knew immediately what to do. Yes, ma'am. I saw that tattoo face. I knew what I had to do, and no doubt in my mind. Yes, he had to be, somehow we needed to stop this man, you know. He's shooting at the police. He's shooting at any of us.
Well, he was arrested later, but now Mr. Donnelly has filed and asked to have charges filed against Mr. Reese. Yes, the store clerk who tried to help make a citizen's arrest. He wants him accused of aggravated assault. That hearing will go before Judge Hugh Sosby on Tuesday morning. Find out all the details in this week's Reporter. Well, it's the news Monroe County has been dreading, and it's still trickling out. Monroe County's biggest taxpayer, Plant Scherer, has announced that it does plan to close another unit. That'll take it down to only 2 of its 4 units in operation by 2028. The owners of Plant Scherer, including Georgia Power, filing those plans last week with the Public Service Commission. How will that affect Monroe County taxes and the school system and the local county government? Find out more details in this week's Reporter.
Whenever I go down to the river to relax, I always bring a Monroe County Reporter. It's the best little newspaper in Georgia. Subscribe today.
Well, in sports in this week's Reporter, find out the prospects for the Mary Persons Bulldogs and why this Friday's game with Upson Lee is a big game here as we get near the end of the season. Also, find out what the former New York Mets general manager had to say about our very own Eric Snow. Some very positive things about what may be a future major leaguer from FORSYTH, Georgia. Also, the FPD Vikings are led by Monroe County boys to another big victory on the gridiron. Find out all that and much more, and don't forget your football picks with a chance to win a free meal at Shoney's in this week's Reporter. Well, the FORSYTH City Council met on Monday night, and as usual, the reporter was there to record what they said and did. Now, FORSYTH is one of the few cities still in Georgia that is under a mask mandate. You are required to wear a mask inside all city facilities that are owned by the city of FORSYTH. Even as cases have gone way down on COVID and the coronavirus, they still muddle under that mandate. And so, up on the dais of that new city hall, the mayor, the city council members, the city attorney, the city manager were all masked. But nevertheless, we work very hard because it is our job to report to you what they are saying and doing. We work very hard to understand them and to pass it on to you so you can know what your city government is up to. And so now I will present to you some of what was said at the city council meeting. First, we'll start with Mayor Eric Wilson, who had some things to say about issues facing the city. And what he said was, Also at the meeting was City Council member Julius Stroud, and he had some very interesting things to say about some issues facing the city. Here's what Julius Stroud had to say. And one more thing, FORSYTH City Council member Chris Hewitt also chimed in on some of those very critical issues facing the city. It was very interesting to hear what he had to say, and this is what he said. So we hope you enjoyed this very insightful feature on what your city council members were saying at this week's city council meeting.